Hey everybody, welcome back to week number 5 of the Dirt with D. Hey man, the time's gone quick. It doesn't seem like I've done 5 of these already. Anyway, some quick updates this weekend at the Bottle House. On Friday night, we have a first timer at the Bottle House. We have Trader Jones. It's their debut performance at the Bottle House. It's going to be a good time. Um, hang on a second. Then Saturday night, we have Not Mad Addict coming back. So it's going to be a great night. Things have been really going really great with the no smoking. I appreciate everybody's assistance with it. Y'all have been great. I can't say enough about you guys. But anyway, so tonight we have, and if you were at the Bottle House a couple weekends ago, you saw these guys, the Dirty White Boys. So far in the studio, we have Russ and Phil. Well, I'm going to play a quick video of the guys, just so in case you haven't seen them, you'll know what we're talking about. Here we go. So there you have it. So here's the guys. Let me unmute them here for you real quick so you can hear them. Give me a second here. So big the Dirt with D welcome for the Russ Rocks and Phil. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, good. Thanks, Dwayne.
We're still waiting on a couple of the guys to join us. As soon as they do, I'll pop them in there.
Okay.
You know, this computer technology stuff.
Well,
So it's been a few weeks since I've seen you guys.
it has been. It has.
Yeah. It was a great night though. Man, it was a
That
fantastic night.
before we did that show at gosh, it's been probably 4 or 5 months before that we played the Bottle House last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was wild. We had a great night.
yeah,
Crowd was great. Everybody was into it. It was a
yep.
phenomenal night.
That's my favorite. One of my favorite bars to play is the Bottle House because the
Yes.
was great. The atmosphere that they present is great. The food's, I mean, not the food, the just the
Yeah,
way that
rub it in.
way to take just the way everything's presented, with the light show, great sound with Rick White doing sound. He's a pro, so it's just an easy setup, easy peasy every time we come in.
Well, yeah. On behalf of the staff, I think I can say I think everybody really appreciates that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess I can speak for everybody.
Yep, you sure can.
Yeah.
How's
We're
Bubba? Bubba doing good?
Bubba's improving. You
Okay,
know,
good.
every day he's improving. In fact, we're supposed to get together this weekend. So,
Cool.
I mean,
Cool.
he's still dealing with some of the issues. I think a lot of it's the medication. They're just trying to get the medications balanced out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he's improving.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have his
That's
butt
good.
back in
That's
a
good
seat
to
there.
hear.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
good guy, good guy. And like I tell everybody, he's like a brother to me. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's coming along. Like I said, hopefully he'll be back in the seat. Then I got to teach him how to do all the video stuff.
Yeah. Good luck.
And then maybe I can retire.
You're right.
Maybe. Yeah, but things are going great. So, sobriety. I'm talking about sobriety.
It's right, X.
Uh, Dirty White Boys.
Hmm.
Obviously, it always has not been the Dirty White Boys. So,
Nope.
Russ, give us a little lowdown. It's been, we were talking about 6 years.
6 years, 6 years as the Dirty White Boys. But before that, Greg Augusto and I, the bass player, formerly of the band, we had a band called 80 Caliber that was mainly doing gigs down by Fort Myers, Naples, in that area. And I mean, I was driving from Clearwater down there like every week for practice or gigs or whatever. And I told him one time, I said, why don't we try? Why don't we have the band be more centralized in Clearwater or this area? Because there's a lot more going on up here on a weekend than there is down there. Especially I got to drive down there, and it's just you got a gig here, maybe a gig another 3 weeks from then, and another 4 weeks later have another gig. We're up here, I can play every weekend
Yeah.
somewhere. So
Yeah,
we
well, there's plenty of places to play. So,
Yeah, so Greg and I decided to move. The rest of the guys said, no, no, they didn't want to do that. So we came up here, started Greg started putting ads out there everywhere on Facebook and everywhere. And two guys answered. One was Tommy T, Mike Finn, and the other was Danny Rashford, who plays in the band now.
Mm.
So we auditioned them, and with like some Rat and some Dokken and anything that was a little bit in a higher register too, so we could see if they could handle background vocals and stuff like that. And we immediately clicked. So that's what started it off. And we were doing that for, I don't know, several years, and just people got busy. Greg wanted to step down for a while. He'd been doing it for 5 years almost.
Yeah.
And then and Tommy T, he had other bands that wanted him to come in and fill in and stuff, and so he got into Twisted Revolvers. He's the drummer for Twisted Revolvers now. And we went out looking for people to put in the band. It's kind of like Spinal Tap. We've had so many drummers in this band.
Which Spinal Tap's a documentary, if anybody asks. It's not. It's a documentary. All that shit's real.
Oh boy, is it real?
Oh yes.
Everything in that movie has happened to me at one time or another.
I can definitely clarify. Yeah, it's pretty much everything.
So we kept looking for new people, and finally, now Troy Lynn and I, the drummer we have now, we've been friends a long time. And when he was in the band Strutter, which is a Kiss tribute band, he'd been in 91. I met him in Springfield, Illinois, and they were doing a gig in this little bar. And we just hit it off, friendship wise, talking wise. And then when I moved to Florida, it just so happened he was moving to Florida. He'd lived in Texas. He lived all over.
Well, let's face it.
He was living in Clearwater. And he said, hey, if you know a band's looking for a drummer. I said, dude, I'm looking for a drummer. And he's like, really? And he's been wanting to be in this band for a long time. So we hooked him up. Right before that, we met Phil about 6 months ago. Phil came into the band, and I mean, we hit it off like brothers with Phil. So now
it was very good.
Yeah, we had the total package. Bringing
Lynn,
and Phil hadn't even been playing in like 4 years, so that was really good for us because he was a nobody in town. Until then, hell, we had Welsh Phil.
I'm still a nobody.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
We had Mark Welsh filling in from Den of Thieves, and Casting Crowns, I think is the name of his band. I can't remember. Anyway, Crowns. Yeah, and we had a dude. I can't remember his name off the top. David somebody from some. Oh, he had several. Let's just put it, several bass players. We were like trying to keep busy on our schedule because we have a schedule that's totally booked. We're booked all the way through 2025 right now.
So I guess I'm not going to sneak any more dates out of you this year.
Oh yes, you are, because
we got some open dates. We really do.
We're definitely going to talk about. I need to fill some dates in the end of the year. So
well, good. We'll get together and go over some slots. I know I got you guys again in March. So
yeah, we got one more in April with you.
Oh, I love that.
It is April. Sorry.
We fill in the band, and that just rounded it out. Now we have a band that we can really put out there, and so far so good. That's the story. I'm sticking to it.
That's the story. I'm gonna pop. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if the guys have messaged me.
Okay.
Nope. All right. Let me pop back in. Oh, I'm back. I didn't see any message from him. You know, Dan and technology. You know, he's an old guy. He's an old New Yorker, so this technology stuff might
I don't know, but I can say that Danny Rashford, our guitar player, is from Jersey, and he played in a band called the Good Rats. That are like, they were signed act. I mean, they had like 14 or 15 albums out. Now he was not an original member, but he did get to play a lot with them in New York City. So he has a little bit of a repertoire. Me, I played in several bands. RT Powerhouse. I played in a band called Misspent Youth. I got a few CDs out there, a few different things that I had out there. Now, as far as Phil goes, I'm going to let Phil tell you about what band he was, stuff like that. I don't even know where Phil came from. All I know. Tell him, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, where'd you come from?
Well, my wife and I, we came from Columbus, the Midwest. Okay, Columbus, Ohio, basically, and I played in I don't know how many bands, but very good bands. I had one band that was called Codebreaker. It was a really good '80s metal band, very much like Dirty White Boys, and we got to open for oh geez, Stephen Piercy of Rat at BMI Speedway. We've opened for Kix, Striper, and it was a really good band. But so what happened was, my wife was like, "You're gonna go get a job," and so we moved to Clearwater, Florida, and we always wanted to, though. We always wanted to move here, and I took about 4 or 5 years off. I mean, from gigging the Midwest, Columbus, all over, in many rock bands, and so I took about 5 years off, actually, and then I think Danny, he's the one that contacted me on Musician's Friend and said, "Hey, we're looking for, a bass player, and we do '80s metal." I said, "Well, send me your set list," and so he did, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know those songs,"
Yep.
So I was like, I really did miss, um, playing, and be, going out and having fun, and that's what this band's really all about. We're about having fun.
That's
So,
what playing music is
I
about.
came in. I mean, I think they gave me the set list, and then in 2 weeks, I think we did Papa Joe's, wasn't
Yeah.
it, Russ? Yeah, because I mean, I knew their songs, but
It was fun.
anyway.
Phil, he just, I mean, every single song, all but maybe one or two that were giving him trouble. But he had the entire, I mean, there's like almost 45, 50 songs on this set list. They're 3 1-hour sets, and they're hardcore. They bang, 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 bang. I mean, we do about 15 songs a set. So just to get them all in, you really got to be rocking. And I mean, Phil came right in there. He looked cool. He had a great attitude on stage, great presence on stage. I mean, I could sit and do a video and watch him playing. He is the most animated guy I've ever met playing bass. It's hilarious. It's great. And so having Phil in the band really upped the game for me and for Danny. That's why we needed a drummer that could.
Oh, Troy came in. I'll tell you, Troy Lynn came in, and we didn't even have a rehearsal, Russ. I mean, we didn't even have a rehearsal, and Troy Lynn came in. We gave him the songs. We were out gigging, and I
Like
was in a by the way, I was in a band called One Bad Mother back in Columbus, and you know, that's what I mean. That's how we rolled. We would go over a song. Everybody would agree on a song. We say this is the version, everybody, and we would just go perform it. So I mean, this band is that good. They can come together and just go do a gig. And I am so. I really love being part of the Dirty White Boys, because I guess I am a dirty white boy.
So speaking of which, so why the name change?
okay.
When you were 80s Caliber, what happened with the name
Okay,
change there?
so we were looking for a booking agent, someone to manage the band a bit. We needed somebody that was from this area that could get us in the right doors to play places like OCC and stuff like that. Even Bottle House, all of them. And what we did is we put it out there that we were looking for a guy, and oh man, what was his name? Joanne, you remember his name? Um,
Dude, you're talking. I'm almost 60. Hell, I
yeah.
don't remember what I had for dinner last night.
No, I'm trying to think who was the booking guy that
You're young at 60.
yeah,
Yeah.
we found a booking agent but he said, why don't you guys change the name? I have a name in mind. And we were like, well, what is it? And he said, Dirty White Boys. And I said, dude, we'll never get a gig with that name. And we're in Florida, you know, we're going to have every FBI agent and CIA guy up our butt the whole time we play. But I don't know why, but we went ahead and tried it. He was kind of he had an idea for a logo. He had, you know, he told me he'll go out and get t-shirts made and blah, blah, blah. So it ended up being that we made that name change, and it was all, we were off and running, because once he started booking us, he got us in almost all the spots we're playing now. He eventually was the guy who initiated all those, getting into all those places. So I wish I could remember his name off the top. It makes me mad I can't remember names. But
like I said, I'm a bad one to ask about names. Because
anyway, he then, you know, I mean, that's how we got the name change, and it stuck. I mean, I've had all kinds of people come up to me and say, man, that's the coolest name. I said, it wasn't our idea. Let me tell you that. I thought for sure that we were going to run us right into the dirt, but
well, we haven't. Nobody has yet.
All the decisions.
You're still alive, so it's worked so far.
It's worked so far. It's kept us busy for almost 6 years now. So,
well, and also opened the door for a good intro song.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's got a story too. Everybody, now I never thought it was a hard song to do. "Dirty White Boy" by Foreigner. I didn't think it was that hard, but
coming from the singer,
it's got a real weird drum.
I played that song so many times, I can't even recall.
Yeah. So it used to be the first song in the set, and then we changed it, and because a couple guys were having trouble learning it, and then we ended up just dropping it. And now, so here we are. We're the band, the Dirty White Boys, and we don't even play the song anymore.
That's probably a good thing.
Real quick, thank you, Rhonda. We appreciate that. A lot of hard work, but
we replaced so many songs since we got Troy and we got Phil in the band. We're really now, the vision I had for the band is really coming full on about, and it's not about playing the top 10 of everybody's playlist of on radio or what they listen to on XM radio or whatever. It's really about feel for us. If we can find a song that's got feeling, that can take you back to that time when you were like 16 years old, hearing it first time, maybe you were in a car, you had your T-tops off there, Trans Am, and you're driving down the road with your 8-track tape player, you know,
with the matchbooks wedged underneath of it.
we wanted to take people back to a time, and that's what we're about. If the song is cool and it reminds you of being somewhere, then that's the song we want to do. We aren't trying to do songs just because, oh, well, that band did it, you know, Scream Machine does it, and this guy does it, and that guy does it. We try to stay away from that. As a matter of fact, every time I go to see a band, if I see they're doing our songs over and over and over, I tell the guys, we're cutting it. We're going to that song.
Well, we want variety.
I want variety.
Exactly.
Yes, they want variety. They do not need to see the same band 3 times in a row. Like, and I'm not kidding. I've gone to bars. I don't stay when I'm not playing. I don't stay very long. But if I go into a bar, I see a band doing Enter Sandman. Then I go to another bar 5 minutes later, and another band's doing Enter Sandman. And then I go to the third bar, and they're doing Enter Sandman. Man, I got to get away from Enter Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep. And there are some songs out there that doesn't matter what band, what genre.
Right.
That song is played every weekend.
Yeah.
And, you know, I consider myself, you know, I'm old, but I was lucky enough to grow up in the 70s and 80s. When I don't care what anybody says, music was the best music we've had in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
It was.
There's no comparison.
I just don't. I don't understand why the scene has changed so much.
It really has. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some good stuff that came out of the 90s too. But that's when the change started.
Yeah.
That's when it really started changing.
Yeah.
And, you know, people don't, you know, when I was playing, And, you know, obviously I was playing an 80s band because it was the 80s.
Yeah.
But the music was fun. It was all about having a good time. It was party music. And then all of a sudden we got into kind of the grunge thing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, grunge, it
Yeah.
has its place. But to me, it was kind of, it's not fun.
Yeah, the
It's kinda
Nirvana
just
Pantera
depressing.
age.
Well, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens is these bands will like Nirvana, Soundgarden,
Pantera.
Other Love Bone.
I mean, when they came in, they really changed a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, they changed. Well, there are some bands like Nirvana and Pantera that really sonically changed music how we,
Yes, I
And so-
agree.
and that's cool for its time. But I remember going and seeing Nirvana at Mississippi Nights in St. Louis, Missouri, and it was a small club. There's maybe 500 kids there. They make it be an all ages night so that all these kids could get in to see Nirvana, and they were good, man. The place there was electricity in the air. There was something different about them.
And that's what it was different.
Just something different, right?
And,
So-
you know, quite honestly, it was time for a change.
It was time, right?
Yeah.
It was time. Because that's what I'm saying. It was now, like, if you tried to do that same, I see bands that they cover only 90s.
Mhm.
If you cover only 90s, you got to your group, guys. What's this? I don't know what Troy's trying to get in or something.
Was it?
Anyway, so it changed. The scene changed, and these guys are now, it's a big thing to do, like a tribute to the 90s, a tribute to the 80s, a tribute to the 70s, and that's all really cool. But even I get bored to death. If I heard Kiss for 4 sets, I get bored.
I do too.
So that's
Yep.
why our band, I told the guys I like to do them in sets of 5. So 5 songs in one genre, another 5 in another genre, another 5. So there's all evened out. So we
Mhm.
kind of hit all those spots, but not bore everybody to death with my favorite music, playing Kiss all night or playing, Journey all night.
Well, yeah. And I've talked to Dan about this because, you know, we
Mhm.
talked about music. Hey, I'm a huge Southern rock fan.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, to me, Skinner is just, I mean,
Yeah.
they're
You
gods
like
in my eyes.
D,
Yeah.
you like Blackfoot?
I love Blackfoot.
He played it. That's a
Molly Hatchet. I mean, I'll tell you what.
Hatchet, Blackfoot. I mean, that's the stuff that I agree. Still,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, obviously, even in the 80s when I was playing, because it was all long hair, we were playing the 80s. When I left the bar, I was listening to Hatchet, Skinner, Allman Brothers.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I listened to.
38.
just-
I'll tell you what, I
Yeah.
used to listen to that as well. And I mean, Dreams I'll Never, what is it?
Dreams,
What's that
yeah.
song? Dreams I'll Never by Molly Hatchet.
Which is a remake, by the way.
What's
Is
the
it?
name of that song again?
Dreams.
I think it's called.
Dreams I'll Never See, right?
Well, it's Dreams, but it's Dreams I'll Never See. I mean, there's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
officially it's Dreams, but that's it. Dreams I'll Never See. But yeah, that's a remake.
Oh man,
love-
that's a great song.
I love-
Fantastic song.
I loved those. Because back in the day, I would listen to 38 Special.
Yep.
Then I would throw in. I always had Ted Nugent on.
Gotta love Uncle Ted.
When they had that Southern Rock Slam. I don't know if you guys had it here, but in St. Louis,
Double Live Gonzo.
there was Southern Rock. They had every band was Southern Rock.
Yep.
The only band they didn't have was they had Molly Hatchet, 38 Special, Marshall Tucker Band.
Could have been the Almonds because let's face it, there's not many of those.
that
That's
I
really
love
none
the
left, huh?
Allman Brothers.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, I really do.
at that
So do
point, Brothers was so big they didn't need anybody else.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
and let's face it, Southern rock, it's all blues based.
Yeah,
I'm not a big blues fan,
Yeah.
but I love the blues influence on rock.
Yeah.
What it did for rock at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I listen to a lot of different music. I
Mm.
mean, if you go to my Pandora stage, you go, what the hell does this guy listen to? I mean, I go anywhere from country up to almost hard thrash. I'm not really into thrash as much. That's just my personal taste. But some harder stuff.
I just got kicked off.
No, you didn't get kicked off. Your video went up.
Okay.
You did something. But
And
you're
it-
still there. Your audio's still there. I just don't see your video.
How do I get back to that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not on your side. You can always sign out and log back in if you need to. But yeah, your video went somewhere. You just went black.
They just,
You know, I can't expect much from musicians. Let's be honest.
okay, that's
I know
So
what you're
D,
doing.
you know, when I was in Columbus, you know, I just wanted to mention, you know, I was in a band called One Bad Mother, and you know, it was a really great band. I mean, what probably, you know, a band that I look fondly on. But the drummer, he actually played with Kenny Kanowski. Of You know, he actually wrote the song "We All Die Young,"
Mhm.
and which was the soundtrack to Rockstar
Yep.
with Wahlberg and Aniston, and so Jay. You know, that drummer, man, he we played in One Bad Mother, but he toured with Kenny Kanowski, and
You're
the
back.
song "Chillin' Sun." That's it. That's what I wanted to think of. "Chillin' Sun."
Yeah.
That was the name of the band, and man, just good memories from back then.
Uh, you know, I did it for quite a few years. I pretty much retired. But I mean, some of the best times of my life were playing music, and some of
yeah.
the raunchiest times of my life were playing music. We won't go into that on a
Well,
public forum.
how did you get into that band, Blackfoot? How'd you
I
get
didn't
in?
play with Blackfoot. You had Blackfoot wrong.
Who was the
I was
band
going
that
to tell you that.
you played guitar
I'm
with?
interviewing you guys.
I know, but I just need to know.
I've done some stints with some bigger bands around, but
Mm.
again, I don't really talk about that kind
Oh,
of stuff too much. I'm interviewing you guys. One
okay.
day I'm going to let everybody interview me. Then the truth comes out. It's the Dirt with D, and it's about you guys. You're in the hot seat, not
I
me.
want to find out the dirt.
I've played in front of thousands of people at one point or another.
Okay.
Nice.
But you know, and I did it for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the road. It was pretty much a full-time job for me. And I'll be honest with you, it became a job. When it became a job, I stopped enjoying it.
Right.
I mean, it was like
I
any other
hear
9 to
you.
5 job.
Gosh, if that ain't the truth.
Yeah. I mean, the last band I played in Arizona before I came out here, it was the drummer he was like a brother to me, and he begged me for a year. He said, I really want you to come play in our band, and I did.
Yeah.
And it was okay for a while, but it's so hard putting a group of guys together
That's it.
where everybody
Oh my
actually gets
God.
along.
That's
That
the
you
part.
hit the nail on the head there. I
It's tough.
mean,
That's it.
it's
When we first,
it's just amazing how the Dirty White Boys came together. It really is.
yeah.
So,
Well,
but
but
man,
before,
we're having so much fun, aren't we?
oh
Aren't
yeah,
we, Russ?
oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
if
when
I
we,
could find a group of guys to play with again that I got along with, that we were, just like a family, I would
yeah,
consider it. But
yeah,
it's hard to
And
find because it's 4
that's
personalities
what
or 5.
I honestly, feel that we really do have that with
yeah.
this crew. It's really special.
Like
It's a special crew. It really is.
we look
Well,
out
yeah,
there. We talk. I think the point is too. We love, like you were saying, Dwayne. It's all about the music. We really do. We love this music that we do. I
Yeah.
mean, talk about it every day. We're constantly either calling each other back and forth about what's going to happen the next weekend and what we're doing and what songs were happening. I mean, we're constantly as a band talking about music.
mhm.
So that's a big deal. If you got a guy that just knows how to play guitar and he's been in a million bands, he's kind of bored, he knows every single song, then and he's not really like you say, hey, let's get together and have a bite to eat or something, and he doesn't want to do that, then it's like
Right.
I don't want to be in a band with a guy like that who
Well, yeah.
just in and like he's like using a time clock and just stamping in his time, you know.
Well, and what I'm doing now, obviously, I'm still involved with music. This is just kind of a transition into a different aspect. I mean, obviously, I still play. I mean, not
Right,
as much as I used to,
right.
but this is a way for me to get involved in another end of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the bookings and dealing. Let's
Yeah.
face it, I know pretty much every damn musician in a 100-mile radius.
Yeah,
I
you
know
do.
tons of
Yeah.
guys. And
Yeah.
the good thing is I like seeing different bands. I enjoy that. So
Yeah.
I'm not stuck,
Yeah.
Back when I was playing, I never
Right
got to
on.
see any other bands because I was playing every damn night.
Right.
Right.
Now I can get out and enjoy myself, try to go to bed early. I never
Yeah. That
anymore.
thing is really hard when we're out. I mean, we play so much.
Yeah.
The next 5 weeks we're booked every weekend, both Friday and Saturday. And it's like and I hate to give up a gig. I don't like
I
sometimes.
know.
Oh, can we get you for a Sunday afternoon to play? It's and we just played all weekend.
I know.
It's
It's
hard
tough.
for me.
Well, it's hard on as a vocalist. People don't understand your voice it's an instrument,
Yeah,
and you can overplay it.
yeah,
I mean, 3 or 4 nights in a row. I know we were back in the day. We were doing 6 nights,
yep,
and
oh,
it was
Yeah.
hell on our vocal. It was hell on all of us.
yeah,
Because we're playing back then. Fortunately, we were big enough. We had opening bands, but still two sets
Yeah.
a night, 5, 6 nights a week. It gets old, and like I said, it
I
became
would
a
love to
job.
just do 2 sets a night.
Well,
Well, remember back in the good old days when we had opening bands.
Yes.
we're getting ready on the 28th of February. We're going down to Twisted Fork and we're opening for a tribute to Kid Rock, and we got to play 90 minutes straight, and that's great. It's going to feel like we're barely on the stage for it's a measly hour and a half, and it just feels like you're hardly up there before you're tearing everything down from there. But I
And,
like that because we can use every bit of energy that we normally would
right.
see throughout the sets for the night to get through the night to the end. Now we can burn it all up on a great big stage in front of a lot of people. And
Well, you get
that's,
to concentrate on that money set.
huh?
You get to concentrate on the money set.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
always told everybody. Second set's the money set.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, people come in. It's the same. It hasn't changed any. The first set you come in, you don't want to throw all your good stuff in because people are trickling in. They haven't had a few drinks yet. Second set, you nail them.
Yeah.
Third set, you kind of just bring them back down. Yeah, that's why I stay and I do the video of the second set all the time because I know that's the money set.
That is the money set.
It
That
is,
is
yeah.
for sure.
Boy, our drummer, he comes from Kiss Tribute Act, so he's used to doing 90 minutes and out the door.
hmm
And they got guys that were helping him and stuff, so the teardown was pretty easy. He's got a drum tech and all that. When he came into this band, I told him, I said, I hope you're ready because it's hardcore, especially for somebody who's not done 3 1-hour sets.
Oh yeah.
But at weekends, he was like, dude, you got to slow down just a little bit and give me a breather in between songs because I'm out of shape. I said, you'll get it. A year from now, you'll be like, why aren't we doing more?
Well, it's hard on. I know, back in the '80s, I was like everybody else playing the Super Strats and everything else. I'd throw my Les Paul in every now and then. But the last band I was in,
Yeah.
I was playing my Les Pauls pretty much all night long. When people don't get it,
Yeah, the
that tore me up. That's a heavy ass guitar.
car.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of. My back's all screwed up now. What's that? I guess when I talk, your audio clips out. I don't know
Whose?
why. Yours, Russ.
Oh.
So I guess I should be a good host and just keep my mouth shut.
No, you're
Let you
doing
talk.
well.
No, I just gotta let you talk.
I can. I'm the talker in the band. Sometimes people
Well.
say talk a lot. What
I
I
agree.
well, yeah, of course he does. What I try to do is on stage, when I tell stories about, I've been everywhere, traveled with so many bands, and I've opened for so many bands. I got a lot of stories. So that's the one thing I guess I try to do is when people come to our shows, I just want them to feel at home. I want them to feel like they can trust me and talk to me and hang out with me. And because if I don't, they'll get bored.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
there and just stand there and sing the song. And I like to move around. I like to be present. And I think that my way of doing it is just, I've had people come up and they just say, man, I love that story you told about when you were hanging out in the first AC/DC album that you opened up. Those are memories that I think a lot of people have. They just don't get a chance to really voice them.
Well, I try to tell everybody at the Bottle House, the bands, especially the new bands when they come in, the bands that actually interact and get the crowd involved, they're the bands that do well.
Yes.
The guys that stand up there and just play, and there's bands that do that. They're phenomenal musicians.
Yeah,
But people just don't. Yourself, you have to work the Bottle House.
you really do.
You have to get everybody involved. And once you start getting them involved, you're in.
If they're over there playing pool sometimes, I'll just go out there and say hi to them or just make contact with them. And I always watch them. And all night long, I look over to see if anybody's looking at us and not really paying attention to pool.
Well, yeah, and I pay attention, obviously, from my viewpoint. I pay attention to everything in there because I kind of have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, when a band comes in and they start really the crowd interaction,
Yeah.
that's the bands that are going to keep them.
Dwayne, the hardest places to play are places that either previously used to be sports bars and they've got 3,000 uh, big screen television on, all playing different basketball games, soccer,
I
football,
agree.
basketball, hockey, whatever. And you're in competition with that.
Hmm.
And that I tell them, man, if you want to get more people in here that enjoy rock music, and you're wanting to bring people in to listen to good music and good bands, you got to turn some of these TVs off,
Yeah.
and these that you got to, because people are they're like sheep, they're led. You got to lead them lead them to drink the water. They will drink the water, but you got to lead them there.
Yep.
And so I tell them in every bar we play at, I tell them, can we turn a couple of these TVs off that right next to the stage, so they're not just looking up, because they're not even looking at it because it's their favorite team. They're looking at it because they're so distracted by it.
Well, it's that they're either looking at their phone or the TVs.
Yeah.
It's the age we live in now.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's why the two TVs flanking the stage up there, obviously we use for the band logos.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, historically, the Bottle House, people say, well, people don't really dance at the Bottle House. Well, you got to get them into it. The Bottle House has historically been a listening band. People come in and listen. But once you get them up and get them moving, it's kind of the trickle down effect.
Yeah.
More and more people start rolling up. When you guys know yourself, the first set, the dance floor is kind of, you might get one or two people up. Well, by the second set, hell, you guys had 10, 15 people up on the dance floor pretty much all night long.
Yeah. We had people on the dance floor, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it's great, but that's the interaction. That's the involvement. And you, Russ, as the front man, that's your job.
Yep.
Your job. That's why they call it a front man. You're not just a singer, you're the front man.
Yep.
You're out there vocalizing, talking to people. Yep. And you got to let the other guys tune up.
Yeah. You hit it right.
He's a performer.
Exactly. A good front man is worth his weight in gold. I mean, look at guys
That's
like
right.
David Lee Roth. I mean, David Lee Roth, was he the best singer in the world? That's debatable.
No.
He was one of the best front men
I
who
grew
ever
up.
hit the
He
stage.
was. You got a big point right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I grew up on all that stuff. I went and saw, when I was a kid, I saw Van Halen,
Mhm.
Kiss with the makeup on, Journey. You gotta have a rapport with the audience. You can't stand there and look like paint drying on a wall.
Exactly. I just popped this up from a net, Liquid Courage, for those dancing people. Yeah, sometimes they need that.
Yeah.
And there's guys like me, I don't drink. So.
Yep.
But I'm one of the
For
few.
you.
Well, we're
Well, you know me, I drink my coffee. Now everybody calls me Dalton.
we know what
I just drink my coffee and watch things.
a lot.
Yeah.
I love it. We're still
Dalton
young.
from the Roadhouse.
Mhm.
The band as a whole are if we could get a sponsorship of Jaeger, that would be
There's another band you're going to have to fight for that one.
right. I know, right? Right. X, Den of Thieves. That's where I'm cut from the same cloth as them, because when I first moved to this town, when I first moved to Clearwater, nobody knew who I was. So I went around and I sent a demo to everybody, and I couldn't get nobody to respond. So I went out to each bar to the bands I liked, and that was Sobriety X, Den of Thieves, and Handsome Devil at the time.
Yep.
And so I went out and watched each of these bands. I learned 5 of their songs in each band. And what I did is, like, I would go up to Angie of Den of Thieves. I said, hey, do you think I could come up and I know this song and that song and that song? She's like, sure, hon, come on. Hun.
Yeah, that's handy.
Slayed it. She told me, you are never, ever going to get up on my stage again.
Well, and the guys in Sobriety X, I mean, they're almost as old as the state is.
Heck yeah.
I mean, they've been around for, 40, 50 years or something like that?
Yep.
I love
Actually, we were talking.
I love the bass player, Greg Kine.
Greg, they're
he's
great guys.
Yeah.
He's a great bass player, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know if you guys got to see. Actually, they were the first band that I had on here.
Really?
I had all 5 of
Oh,
them on.
nice.
Needless to say, I didn't get a word in.
Of course not.
And everything they said, you had to take everything they say with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Actually, because Wolf was he was leading the conversation there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it, because he's the newest guy, right?
Yeah, but yes and no. I mean, he was with them and back, and Wolf's a phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah, man.
And actually, Butch, between the two of them, they're just 2 great guitar players.
Dude.
But they've been together so long, they just know what each other's thinking.
I know.
Yeah.
That Butch.
That's a fact.
bands I went and saw. I love the way I saw him get up. Now he got up. This was at on the beach place. What's it called? Just off the beach or something.
Jimmy
Anyway,
B's? Jimmy B's, maybe?
no, we
There's
might
a
have.
couple of them.
Anyway, he gets up there, puts on his guitar, straps it on, turns on the amp, throws the. I mean, he never like tinkered around with the sound or he didn't fiddle faddle around. He just turned that dang thing on, turned it up to 10, and just. I thought, man,
Played his heart out.
I love the way he plays, man.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of my favorite guitar players to watch.
He's got a great sound.
He really does.
He actually, when I was talking to him, he just got a new amp.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not a Marshall. He's always been a Marshall guy, but he got a new amp. So we'll have to see what happens next time they play there. It might be interesting.
Now that he's got that other guitar player with him too, it probably changes his sound a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, when those two play together, because and I've been in many bands with two guitarists. You know, you don't want to fight each other.
Yeah,
you know, you're always looking for your own frequency, your own sound, and that's why Wolf was playing the Strats. He switched over to PRS, but he's trying to find that sonic place where he fits in well with Butch. Right. And I think those two guys play great together. They just complement each other.
Yeah. They do.
I know you got one guitar player, but I've always liked the sound of two guitars, just that full sound.
I've always been in a 3-piece band, but I always wanted to have that other guitar player, man, just to make it be that big fat. Because when I go into Thieves, I mean, man, you've got Raleigh on one side, and you got what's his name?
Gary.
What?
Gary plays with them, yeah.
And Gary.
Two great guitar players.
He is a great guitar player.
And for a lead guitar, a lazy lead guitarist like
both
me.
of them, Rolly and Gary.
Oh yeah, great guys. And like I said, it took the pressure off of me. There was another guy that I didn't have to play lead all night long.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play lead all night long.
No.
I was never one of those guys that wanted to be out front showing off.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to come in back when, because I was drinking a lot then and doing other things that we won't discuss on a family show.
Yes.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
Danny.
We won't go there.
Oh.
Danny grew up on stuff like he grew up on Ozzy Osbourne.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of Jakey Lee in him. He's got a lot of George what's his name from Doc?
George Lynch.
That's his cup of tea. So that's another thing. When a band comes out and they just they play everything, they got so much going on. I like a guy who's hammered into a particular style. So I try to find songs that stick to that style or to the way I can sing it. Like I know that I can't sing. I am not Jeff Tate. So I don't try to pick songs like Jeff Tate because I'm not going to do a good job on them. I mean, I could get there maybe one song out of 10, but I try to find songs that bring the best out of each of the guys in the band.
And it's funny enough, when I was playing, I never played Van Halen.
What?
I never played Van Halen when I was playing.
No.
I think I did once or twice.
Wow.
Because I didn't feel that I could do justice.
I hear
because Van Halen, you don't get up there. People can hum the solos. They know everything note for note. Yeah. And when you don't do justice to Van Halen, hell, you get egged.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. I never wanted to play Van Halen because I never felt that I could do the justice necessary.
And that's okay.
Dwayne, are you a guitar player?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I played bass in the past too.
Gotcha. Oh, you played bass?
Yeah, I've dabbled in bass a little bit. Yeah, I played bass in a band or two.
We're gonna have to, when we do the interview on Dwayne, we'll figure all that.
I'm pretty tight-lipped about my past.
I know. Oh, who are you running from?
There's an FBI file out there on me now. I tell everybody, you talk about taxes, I say, well, I'm either going to be rich or in jail.
Right.
Because I own my own business, so you know how.
Yeah. We're in the business of rock and roll, aren't we, Phil?
That's right.
That's right.
And like I said, by
That's
doing
what the
this,
Dirty White Boys are all about. We're all about having fun. Just a great band that I joined, after being retired for about 5 years, and I'm just having a lot of fun, man. I'll tell you what.
And that's one of the reasons I started this.
Yeah.
I have fun with it. Like I
Yeah,
said, I
you're
tell the
having
guys,
fun.
yeah.
Have fun.
I mean, do either one of you guys, do you even take into consideration this is live, working out live? I don't. To me, it's just I'm sitting around shooting the bull with a couple guys. It's great that it's
Right,
live, but it's
right,
completely unscripted. I
right,
write down a note or two. That's it.
right.
But everything else is, yeah, I can tell
Well,
everybody, freaking wing it.
that's what Rogan said when he started his podcast. He said, "I just want to talk to people that are
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
That he goes, I don't want to be scripted. I don't want to have people say, oh, you got to have this guy on because he's plugging that and this.
exactly.
That's just
Well,
not.
and I ask everybody, make recommendations. Who would you like to see on here? Because hell, I'll bring anybody on. I don't care. But I know most of the guys anyway, so
uh,
tell
I
everybody we just sit around and shoot the bull.
see that hidden podcast where they're interviewing Dwayne. I'll tell you that. I'm
Who
signed.
knows? One might pop up down the road. Who knows? Maybe I'll let somebody interview me. I have to figure out. I have to pick
Hey,
the person.
gents, I'll be right back.
It'll be 10
Take your
minutes of Dwayne going, I cannot answer. I plead the
Yeah.
fifth.
I refuse to answer that ground on the grounds that it might incriminate me. Like I said, I have a past. I mean, I've never done anything extremely illegal.
Well, we've all been there, brother. But anyway, just to let people know, I guess on that note, I can tell people that next weekend we are playing. Is it okay to say where?
Absolutely. I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
So next weekend on the Friday, we're playing a new place. It's in Plant City at O'Brien's. It's funny now. I'm not from here, but we played O'Brien's in Carrollwood. We played O'Brien's in Brandon. Now we're playing O'Brien's in Plant City. I'm wondering, is it the same setup? Does it look the same? So far, the places that we played have kind of looked the same a little bit. Brandon is a way bigger spot. They got a really big back area for people to hang out outside in. They usually like have an acoustic act out there while we're playing on the main stage. But this one in Plant City we've never been at. Then Saturday night we're playing Skinny's, which is kind of outdoors, up in Hudson. It's one of my favorite little hole in the walls to play. Got great food there that I'm aware of. They have the oyster bar and all that good stuff, and the outdoor stage is pretty neat out there.
What what's coming after that?
Oh man,
Promote.
See, you want me to look, and I don't have my list.
Well, I know we got you. April 5th, you're back at the Bottle House.
That's
I'm
what.
back.
And like I said, we'll discuss some more dates.
I mean, we've had about the same a bit of people that come every time. I would love if because of these kinds of broadcasts, if we could get, I'd love to pack that place out and just, pack it out.
Well, I'll be honest, the crowds, especially since we've done the no smoking thing, the crowds have definitely been picking up over the past couple weeks. Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
It was time.
That's,
We needed
that's
to do
good
it.
to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Good to hear people are getting out and enjoying live music and
Exactly.
engaging, just being out and having fun.
Well, we were one of the holdouts with the smoking, and we discussed it, and it was time. And Russ agreed 100%.
I have to agree. If you want to smoke, go outside.
It's no big. I don't think 99% of the people really have no issue with just walking outside to smoke. In fact, people have told me, "Hey, it helps me slow down. I don't smoke as much."
There you go.
So yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good move, and I agree with it.
Well, also promotion, and I tell the bands, I'm trying to do what I can to promote. Obviously I've got a full-time job, so I have tried to spend an hour or two in the evening. This week I've been busting my ass, so I didn't really have much time.
Yeah.
But help me promote your band. I'll post the stuff, share it, or make your own stuff, or send me, like you guys sent me the video.
Yeah.
And I posted that on there. I said all that kind of stuff. Yeah, is definitely a big plus. The more we can promote, the better.
All we know is we have a Facebook site that says Dirty White Boys FL. Just go there, click on the following or whatever they do. Hit the like button.
Yep, like, follow, share it.
Let's sharing. I mean, that's where it's all at. That now, as far as X goes and a couple of the other sites, we haven't really been involved in those yet. I'm kind of getting into TikTok a little bit.
I've got a page for the Bottle House on TikTok, and we're gaining ground there. Like I said, you guys are actually the first one that we're going live on YouTube.
Yeah, that's.
I've been posting them later, but now we're actually going live on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I would like to just comment real quick about our fan base. Thank you so much guys, for coming to our shows. It makes it fun when we see a group of people that come. Like, there are a few people that come to almost every single show,
Mhm.
and that really tells me we're on the right track. When people
Yeah.
board
I'm-
us, we got to do something.
I mean, we really do. I mean, it's been a really cool experience. You know, just we had people coming from Zephyr Hills
Yeah,
all the way into Clearwater. We were pulling them all the way into Clearwater,
yeah,
and it's really cool. And just a great bunch of people. You know, having fun.
It
yeah.
is, and we've got our regulars there, and we've got some great people. And I'm seeing over the past few weeks, I've seen a lot more old faces that are new faces again.
Mhm.
Because again, a lot of people just, and there were actually some bands that wouldn't book there because of the smoking. Because it is hard if you don't smoke. It's hard on your voice.
That's the one thing I'll bring up real quick, and that's like a crawl in my shoe, and that is that I grew up like you did. I mean, we used to play dirt floor bars,
Oh yeah,
with sawdust on the floor and stuff like that. People smoking cigars, anything they could get their hands on to smoke. Right? So it's crazy when I'm not playing a bar, or I'm not playing a venue that doesn't have a non-smoking uh, policy. I'm like, I don't know how you can afford not to do like that.
well, things were different back then. Now, I'd say probably 95% of the bars around here have gone non-smoking.
And yeah,
So if we come to a more smoking bar and they have the option of paying a non-smoking bar,
yeah,
then it's kind of pick and choose. And now, and again, I've had bands contacting me, hey, we want to get back into the bottle house, and
yeah,
we're working on things.
yeah,
And again, there was a lot of customers that just stopped coming in because they didn't like the smoke.
yeah,
Even a
Yeah,
lot of, especially ex-smokers.
I think it was a great move.
I
You
do
yeah,
too.
know, I mean, as long as you provide a smoking area for
Right.
them,
yeah,
there's, then, let them go out and smoke, and the vape too. The
Mhm.
vapors need to, go outside too.
yeah.
Yeah. One thing we did make concession on, we do allow vaping inside,
Do
but
you?
that's it.
Okay.
No other smoking. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Smack your hand.
We don't
But
know
at
it.
least the vaping it's water vapor, so it's not as bad. You're not ingesting that. But yeah, that was a concession. But yeah, I give kudos to Russ Bennett for doing this. We planned on it earlier, but with the hurricanes, then the
Yeah.
holidays, and everything just got pushed back because there was so much stuff going on.
Yeah,
And he actually took the week and shut down and trying to work it into those times. With the hurricane, obviously it's been. I mean, I'm still dealing with that with my business. I mean, we're doing rebuilds every day.
yeah,
So it was hard to
Yeah.
actually work it in, but he's finally said, look, we're going to do it now. We're going to shut down. He redid, changed the tiles out, cleaned up. Because, when you're a smoking bar, there's a lot of cleanup to do after that.
yeah,
Because everything
Yeah.
has that film of smoke on it.
yeah.
So he did a lot of work in there, getting the place ready to open back up again after we went non-smoking. And like I
Yeah.
said, I can't say enough about the patrons. They've been great. I've actually had people out front helping me police the front.
Yeah,
Just trying to keep
Yeah.
that clean. So, like I
Yeah.
said, I can't thank everybody enough because the
Right.
transition could have been a lot harder than it is.
Yeah.
I still get every now and then somebody lights up when I talk to them. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry I didn't know. So everybody's been really, really, really good about it.
yeah. Well, you
I've
got
had no issues.
a bottle house. I'll tell you that.
It's good. You know what? To me, it's family. I
Yep.
love the staff. I love the girls working there.
Yep.
I look out for them. And they look out for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yep.
had little Jenna behind the bar. Well, if anybody starts anything with you, they got to deal with me. I was like,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Punch him in the knees?
There you go.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I mean, all the girls
Yeah.
there—they're just
they're all
fantastic.
good.
Speaking of which, I do want to say, so anybody watching this, actually this weekend, we're coming up on, this is going to be Truly's last full weekend at the Bottle House.
Really?
She is actually moving out of state. So if you are listening to this, come on in and support Truly for her last full weekend at the Bottle House.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Go
going to post something
support her.
tomorrow. Absolutely.
Right
all the girls.
on.
Support all the staff in there. They're all good people. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have some really good people. And Russ Bennett, the owner, I know, Russ, you were talking about that. You never met him. Russ, a great guy, but he's a busy man.
Yeah.
He's got multiple different business ventures that he's involved with, so he stays very busy. I don't think the guy ever sleeps.
I
I think
tell
he
you.
sleeps like 2 hours a
Well,
night.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on.
Well, we
So I
have a
thought,
lot-
well, I'll take care of everything
lot
about
of
it.
great venues that support the band and bring us back time and time again. And I mean, there's so many of them, I can't even mention them all, but what we try to do is we want to build a partnership with bars,
Absolutely. Right.
venues. We want to build we don't just want to come in and play a gig and leave, but we really are trying to make a way, especially now the band that we like, the band that we put together now is really kind of special. So we want to give that time in every venue that people really connect with the band, including the staff. That's a
Well,
real
absolutely, yeah. I know. I appreciate it. Because I've been staying pretty much till closing time. Whether it's about 5 hours past my bedtime, but I make it. But I try to make a point after every gig, go up and thank every member of the band. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thanks for playing, because it is a partnership.
yeah.
It
And we really do appreciate the bands.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't have to come there, and I appreciate every band that's come in there, every musician that's come in. I appreciate everything they've done. They come in, give it 100%.
And bands hate to come in and set up their stuff and nobody cares about them. Nobody's there to help them with water. They don't, nobody's telling them where maybe where the lighting needs to go or the sound needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're just standing there like, why isn't nobody here? It's like they're just avoiding the band.
Yeah, I know.
Like playing in places like that.
Well, I try to make a point when the guys are setting up, talking to them. Hey, if you guys need anything, just holler at me. I stay pretty busy. We do offer some nice video production, by the way, at the Bottle House.
Yep.
With my Frankenstein rig.
Yeah.
But it works. It
Yeah.
works.
Well,
Everybody says, well, how'd you figure all this stuff out? I said, yeah, by doing it.
you just
I figure everything else out. I just put some crap together and played with it and messed with it, and I've figured out how to make it work.
That's it. The best way to do is hands-on. Just get in there.
Exactly. Of course, I feel like the good old days when I was playing, I'm setting up and tearing down every night.
Right.
I feel like you guys, like,
That's the hard part, G.
Dude.
Actually, I think the tearing down was always the worst part.
Yes.
Because you played, you're tired, now you're thinking,
Yeah.
shit, your last song, now I got to tear all this stuff down, pack up.
The whole idea is to
I've done it for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the good thing is now everything is lighter. Back in the days when I was playing, oh my God.
That is true. That is true.
Man, I was playing through a full stack. RPA, each side of the stage was 16 foot, 8 foot tall. And we were remember the old incandescent lights when it was 140 degrees on stage?
Oh my gosh, yes. You guys had to have sweated.
Oh, I bet you I lost 10 pounds every night. Of course, I drank in 10 pounds worth of beer, but
right.
But I could drink 18 beers and never get drunk. It's because you just sweat it all right back out.
Yeah,
it's recycling.
I still.
Oh my gosh, I can't see how you guys did it back then.
It was a bear.
I still miss those lights. This new stuff with all these LEDs. I mean, they do a wash. They don't really like focus in on you. Like
we had the big cans, the gels.
Yeah, dude. I used to help run lights and have to go up there on ladders and move those gels.
Yeah. You couldn't touch the cans because they were 150 degrees.
Yeah,
and it's like a beam. It's like a beam of freaking laser pointing right at you.
The old days, we used to use homemade pyro.
Yep.
Flash powder in there. And
yeah,
stuff.
I think we all did that at one point. Yeah.
Losing all of the hair on top of his head and his eyebrows because he looked over in it, cigarette in his mouth, and the ash went and hit it, boom, right up in his face.
Oh, we did some stuff back in those days we'd never get away with now. Yeah, setting flash pots off in a bar with a 10-foot ceiling. Looking back on that kind of stuff, it's like, gosh, we were idiots.
It was crazy.
We were just young and having fun, and the flashier we were. And again, that's the flash. You couldn't go up. You couldn't go on stage in jeans.
Hell no.
You go on stage in jeans and a t-shirt, they'd boo you off the stage.
When I first moved down here, my buddy Rich Green said, "Whatever you do, don't turn into these guys that start wearing flip flops and flowered shirts." I'm always wearing my makeup. I'm an eyeliner. I wear my guy liner and everything. So.
Oh yeah, well back then it was a spandex and the Aquanet, the blue can Aquanet. The trick was turn your head upside down, just spray Aquanet so you get the big hair. Oh yeah, I had the big hair back in the 80s.
Me and Phil are still kind of that way.
All your t-shirts had to be all cut up, and it was the show. It was a show.
Yeah,
it wasn't just a band. It was a show. And we had to put on a show.
Kind of in last.
I'm the only blonde in this band now.
That's true.
Right.
Because Russ had blonde hair a couple days ago.
Well, he changes it every now and then.
Saying I was dark.
In fact, Rick, our lovely Rick, or sound man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on a second. Where is it?
But
Let me put that up.
Yeah,
Nice hair color,
it was
Russ.
a pleasure meeting Rick over the weekend. I'll tell you what.
Rick, I tell you what, he's a hell of a sound man.
he really,
He's great.
He gets you
is
dialed in.
very
Usually
good.
two
Very
songs, he's
good.
got you dialed in.
Yeah.
In.
I love not having to do sound checks. I hate.
know. Well, we'd still do them, but they're quick.
Yeah, they're very quick.
Just get everything because he's got your mix in from the last show.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a little bit of. Well, I mean, obviously with new musicians, new drummer,
Yeah.
he's got to get those guys dialed in because he's got your old mix in there.
We should.
Yeah.
But it's pretty quick.
He did it very, very methodically. I can guarantee you that.
Rick is very methodical.
Yeah.
Or as we like to say, OCD. But
That's
you need a guy
okay.
like that. You need a
I'm
guy like
okay with that.
that. Absolutely. I tell everybody, need a guy like that running sound because
God,
the more
yeah.
OCD he is,
God.
the better he's going to make you sound.
Yeah.
Because he's
And
not going to be
he
happy.
did a bravo job.
Well,
Bravo.
he's not happy until the sound is good.
Yep.
Once the sound gets good, then he's happy.
That's it. That's it.
And usually the whole first set, he's back there tweaking until he gets it dialed in. Because again, he knows as well, the second set's the money set.
Yep.
That's the money set. That's where everybody is there. That's where you have the bulk of the crowd, and that's where you want everything to be at his peak performance.
True.
And he'll
Right
go
on.
in there and twiddle with stuff, and he's like a mad scientist with some of that stuff.
He is,
He's in
man.
there twiddling with lights, and I'm like, Rick, come on, let's start the show. I got to fix this. Yeah, because I'm one of those. On time is on time. There is no late. 10
Right.
o'clock. Come on, Rick, let's roll.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah. On the breaks, I'm out of the band. Hey guys,
Yep.
it's been 30 minutes. Let's roll. Let's get it.
Yep.
Let's get it. Let's make the
Yep.
donuts.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, we have a good time there.
That's
I mean, yeah, for me, it's kind of work because I'm busy all night long, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's still a good time.
yeah.
I still have a good time.
Yep.
And like I said, this allows me to be involved in music again without having to play.
Right. That's
You know,
right.
dealing with the bands, the bookings, and doing the video and dealing with you guys.
Yep.
And let's face it, musicians are whiny. They all want their way. I know that. But I understand it because I was probably the worst one there was.
Oh,
If my sound was off, it's like, sounds like shit.
unless somebody's just being a goofball.
Yeah.
You know, if we get somebody up there that doesn't know what they're doing on sound and they're you know, they're trying to figure it out and they don't even know what they're doing, and
Right.
I get aggravated.
I know.
Most of the time I try to be as cooperative as I can because I know how tough their jobs are.
Well, and I go to other venues, and when I go somewhere and hear the sound, and it's just not, God. And I hate to say it, I'm the worst spectator there is.
Yeah.
It's again being involved in music. I'm listening to everything. I hear everything. If
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
one sour note, I hear it. And let's face it, there's not a guitar player, bass player, drummer out there that's 100% dead on.
That's
And
right.
when they're off, I hear it. It could be just a
Yeah.
one note that's a half a step out, and I hear it.
Sure not.
Bubba used to always say, "You're too damn critical." I can't help it. I can't help it.
Especially, you hear it, especially if you're the one playing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, to me, nothing sounded good.
on that
And you're like, drats.
on that
Doggone it.
I try to tell people when they're starting bands up, please do me a favor, stay in the basement for at least a year, at least 1 year,
Mhm.
practicing every weekend,
Absolutely.
and then come out and try to play.
Absolutely. I mean, there's bands that get
don't-
together for a month and want to go out and play live, and it's like,
Make a little bit of cash. It's like, oh, dude, if you want to do that, get in your backyard and turn on PA and have your band play some backyard bashes.
yeah.
Where kids-
Well, and that's another reason I don't play anymore. Truthfully, I don't have the time. I mean, I own a business.
yeah,
I'm very busy. I don't have time to commit to a band, to rehearsals, to playing on the weekends.
yeah,
I just don't have, I can't commit to that 100%. If I can't commit 100%, I don't do it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those
Right.
people. If I can't give it
Yeah.
100%, I'm not doing it.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I would like also to do a shout out to Studio 69, Dominic. He's our guy for when we practice, when we do take the time to take 3 or 4 hours and try to learn a new song. We go to Studio 69 and that's in, like, I forget where. I guess you'd say St. Petersburg.
It's St. Pete, yeah.
But
Great. Yeah, I love Studio 69.
We go
I really do.
really pro. He's got a nice stage. He's got good lights if you want to use lighting while you're trying to work on a song. And he'll interject and say, I think that sounded good. I think that sounds like crap, or, gives us a little bit of a viewpoint from a third party, which is kind of cool. So we love going there. That's our guy. That's where we go to
Well,
practice.
I don't usually
Yep.
say much of the bands, but there are certain bands and they come ask me, well, what do you think of this? How did this sound? How did that sound? And I can tell the guys, okay, now if you're asking me,
Yeah.
you got to realize I'm going to be honest with you.
You're going to be honest. Yeah.
And,
Or
you know,
don't ask.
if it sounds good, I'll say it sounds great. If something
I have-
sounds off, say this sounds off.
All the time, people come up and say, I sing this one song in karaoke. Do you think I could be in a band? I said, well, first off, you got to quit doing karaoke. You got to find a brother
Exactly.
and get in there, and you got to work on 3 1-hour sets.
Mhm.
Once you get accustomed to that, and you're doing it well, then go out and get a gig. But don't think you're going to take that karaoke voice and be able to get on stage for 4 hours and sound like that, because you won't.
Exactly. Well, it's just like,
I-
YouTube.
I agree, man. That's a good point.
Well, YouTube, some of these musicians on YouTube, some of the guitarists, they're freaking virtuosos, but
Yeah,
they
they're-
can't play. They can't play with anybody.
No,
You can't put them in a band because they don't know how to play with other musicians.
that's right. Or they're good at writing original material,
Mhm.
but they have no concept on how to be in a cover band.
Right. Exactly.
Being in
Exactly.
a good, you got to know what you're doing. You have to find songs that are relatable to you and to your fan base. You
Mhm.
gotta be able to play them with proficiency. Because I'll tell you what, if you play, so like you were saying earlier, if you try to play a Van Halen song and you're not killing that solo exactly like Eddie does,
Yep.
then you're going to have to hear from all kinds of fans who say, man, that sucked. You don't
Yeah,
play.
there's a guy like me out there that, you didn't play that right, dude. That's
Yeah, you didn't.
and especially for a vocalist, people don't understand. You have to have such a wide range to play everything. Well, everybody's play this, play that. Well, people,
You
some
really
stuff
do.
your voice does
Yeah.
not fit.
So-
Just certain songs you can't do.
Yeah. I
Yep.
tell all the
I
time.
agree.
I say
Yeah.
I'm not a Brian Johnson guy.
Right.
I'm really good at doing the
There it is.
Bon
Right on tip of the
Scott.
tongue.
former singer of ACDC.
Yeah, Bon Scott.
Bon Scott.
I can do Bond really well, but Brian, I'm not
I
that.
know.
So I
I
don't
know.
try to find songs by the current lineup of ACDC.
See, usually I run away from microphones. They scare me.
Russ, that's because you're an old man.
Yes.
No, it's, I tell everybody, my mother heard me sing and bought me a guitar. Then she heard me play guitar and said, maybe you ought to be a carpenter.
Uh,
But I have to agree with Russ. I mean, my favorite, ACDC is, Bon Scott. My favorite Van Halen is Diamond Dave.
And see, and people have asked me about that. I think Van Halen with Sammy Hagar were better musicians,
oh yeah,
but
Absolutely.
David Lee Roth was a front man.
yeah.
Let's face it, Eddie was phenomenal, but David Lee Roth was Van Halen
Yes.
in that era.
But Sammy Hagar, they were man. That guy's super talented too.
Oh, Sammy's an amazing singer.
Take a guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
I love Sammy.
Yeah.
Look, when they got that dude from Extreme, it just
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Yeah, Gary Sharon. Yeah, it didn't fit. I mean,
Yeah.
Gary Sharon with Extreme is phenomenal,
It's phenomenal,
but
right?
Van Halen, it just didn't gel.
It
And I don't think anybody else could have done it except for him, Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. You're right.
I think he's the only one that could fill that spot. And like I said, I think as far as musically expanding their music with Sammy, I think they were great. Because obviously David Lee Roth, I mean, he didn't even want to do Jump.
Right.
I don't want no damn keyboards in our stuff.
Right.
And obviously Jump was one of their biggest songs, but he wanted that hard driving, hard rock Eddie playing solos.
Yep.
And then when Sammy stepped in, they were able to expand and write different music. And I think, as far as musically, they were much better musically then. But as a band, a rock band, they were better with Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's my opinion. Some people all agree and disagree. That's why
Mhm.
we all have opinions.
Yeah.
It's just like you were talking about Nirvana.
Mhm.
I'll probably develop some haters for this, but I was never a fan of Nirvana.
Right.
I never was a Nirvana fan.
I
I
mean,
mean, there are some grunge bands out there that I liked, but Nirvana, I never got it.
I wasn't really a fan of the whole genre.
Yeah.
It reminded me of being so depressed. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to go to the show and think about my life and think how it sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. And I've been to Nirvana shows. I've seen
Mhm.
Soundgarden. I seen Pearl Jam, and I just, man, I didn't. It's just
Yeah.
be bored.
I mean, there's some great musicians. I mean, look at Jerry
And
Cantrell.
yeah,
Jerry Cantrell's a great
Oh,
oh yeah.
musician.
I
heck
mean,
yeah.
not, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Nah, and it's, I think it's all what you grow up with. Again, I grew up in the
Yep.
70s and 80s, and that's always going to be my first love. I love 70s and 80s music.
Mhm.
Yep.
I go back in the 60s. I like some old, I mean, going back to Creedence and some old, well, hell, some of the best. I mean, the 60s changed rock and roll,
You
obviously.
UFO,
Yeah, UFO.
UFO,
Phenomenal.
Pat Travers Band,
Yep.
Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Angel,
Yep. I'm a big Triumph fan.
Triumph. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
love all those guys. And like I said, that's just my personal taste. Now, if you ask, kids in different, 20 years younger than us, well, they think their generation was the best music because that's just what they grew up with. That's what they were surrounded with.
Bands like Mountain, Leslie West.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And back then, I mean, let's face it, you had to be a real musician.
Yeah.
'Cause first of all,
Yeah.
you weren't sitting in front of a computer, do a chorus, and just basically copy and paste it. You
That's-
were singing the whole
Right
thing,
on.
cutting tape. I had Jason James and Ronnie Zebron on here a couple weeks ago. Who Ronnie is just a freak on a guitar. The guy is amazing. Plays with more heart than anybody I've ever seen. And we were talking about, we first were coming up. There weren't all these pedals and everything out here.
Yeah.
There were a couple pedals out there. That was it. You were relying on your amp to do the work. Now
Yep.
you go into a music store, it's a 20-foot wall of just pedals.
Yep.
This thing I've got back here, this Helix. Hell, I still haven't figured out how to use the thing.
No,
I've been playing through that for a year, and I learn stuff new every day. It's a computer.
Yeah.
I spend more time. That's the bad thing with those. I spend more time messing with it than I do playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why sometimes I just want to plug into a Marshall, crank the gain up, and play.
Yeah.
Turn it up
Little
to
reverb.
11.
Yeah.
Heck with it.
Well, I don't think the neighbors will like it too much, but oh well.
You
I've
oughta
been here longer than them.
We practiced at Phil's house when he lives in a nice neighborhood down about 4 or 5 blocks away from me. And I mean, there's a pond out there, geese are flying in, ducks are flying, people are walking their dogs, and we start cranking up AC/DC. It's like, what?
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, hell yeah.
Getting this big, like, what's going on over there?
Well, we'll
Rock
have
and
to put a
roll.
tip jar out
We should
so
right.
they can pay to listen to
Driveway.
it.
That's right. No cover charge or no nothing. You just come
That's
in and
right.
play.
You're getting a good deal from us.
Exactly. Yeah, no coverage. Remember back in the days when every bar charged a cover charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you try to charge a cover
Yeah.
charge, it look like, are you nuts? I'm not paying a cover charge.
But I always paid it, because the bands are worth it.
Yeah.
They are. They
Yeah.
really are.
Well,
Absolutely.
I heard of tip jars when I was living in Illinois. We never, ever have I ever had a tip jar. We never had a
No,
tip.
no.
Down here, everybody's got a tip jar.
Well, back when I was playing, we got our flat. We got a percentage of door.
Yeah.
There was no
Nice.
tab. Basically, whatever you drank was on the bar.
Right. Right.
And I think our bar tabs are more than our flat
So-
rate was half the time because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
could put away some booze back in the day.
Yeah.
And we made great money. There were times when I was making $500 or $600 a night myself,
Yeah.
let
Man.
alone the rest of the guys in the band. Yeah, we made
Nice.
great money. Now,
Yeah.
it's just the things have changed. Of course, the clubs have changed a lot.
Yeah.
I was playing places like Hammerjacks, some of these big clubs, the Bayou,
Yeah.
2,000 people.
Yeah.
Now, all the bars are kind of in the bottle house mode where, it's 150 people.
Yep.
And it's kind of a tighter, it's more of a close atmosphere there.
Yeah.
Because you're up front. We were playing places where I couldn't even see the back of the bar,
Right.
especially with the lights. People don't understand. I can only see out 10 foot with all the lights because
Right.
everything else was a blur.
Well,
And now it's a blur because I can't see.
OCC is kind of a spot where they kind of divide it up.
Yeah.
If you paid a certain fee, you get a certain table. Then they
Right.
got, if you go behind this line, then you can watch the band for free.
Yeah.
And so the people that really want to come up and get into it, they can't get in there. They can't move past all the people on the tables and get into that spot where they can watch
Yeah.
the band. Only problem with some of the way that you can buy a ticket to watch the band, or you can. I don't know if I agree with all that.
I've yet to be there. I've never been to OCC.
It's a cool place,
Well,
man.
for one, I'm busy all the time, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like much, but just
Oh.
that's a day for me to go over there and come back.
Yeah. It's a really cool spot.
Yeah.
The bands they have are phenomenal. They got 2 stages. Sometimes they'll have a big main act on the big stage, and then over to the side they've got another little spot where they have bands. And it's a cool place on a great day when you just rode your bike in, and you can sit back and watch a great band. It's a pretty cool place. Breezy through there. Breeze comes through there pretty good.
Let's face it, I'm pretty much nailed to the Bottle House on the weekends.
I was
The only time I have a Sunday, and
You ain't getting out.
Sundays now is the only day that I have off.
That's right. And you want to hang out at home.
Yeah, I'm over there a lot, but it's usually work related during the day.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like stopping at a bar and drinking a beer when I'm pulling my trailer.
I hear that.
Besides, I don't drink anymore anyway.
I
So.
was gonna say you're not drinking no more. So
No, you know what? And people ask why'd you
Good
decide
for
to quit
you.
drinking? I said, it really wasn't a decision. I just said I just don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll have a daiquiri or something every now and then.
yeah,
But going out and drinking, for one thing, I'm busy all the time, so I can't wake up with a headache the next
you
day.
really can't. You got on your game.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I hate being hungover now.
Well,
Me
that's
too.
That's
Me
kind
too, brother.
of how
I
it
hear you.
is. We've kind of over the last 4 or 5 years we've gone through it. I mean, we hit it hard and heavy the first couple, but then we started getting older.
Yeah.
I'm 60 now, and those songs aren't as easy to sing as they used to be. So I kind of watch myself and try not to get too over served anymore.
Well, they're not as easy to play anymore, so I've been dealing with as I get older, a little arthritis.
Yeah,
So I'm
Yeah.
definitely not a speed demon anymore.
yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons I don't play as much because I can't play like I used to.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
get frustrated. I
Yeah.
said, man, I used to be able to play that. Now my fingers don't move that quick.
Yeah.
And then I realize, well, I look in the mirror and
You're
then I go,
absolutely
yeah.
right.
Imagine,
Well, when
if,
I look in the mirror, I realize I'm old.
imagine
Yeah.
if you're Kiss and you're 75 years old and you're still walking around in the big boots and that's garbage. I mean,
know.
at some point they had to say it's time to get off the stage.
Well, if I made the money that they did, I'd probably put those boots on for a night.
Oh yeah,
I think I would too.
I'll strap those on.
I'd wear those boots.
Yeah, for the money they cranked down in one show.
I think so.
I'll even
That's a
put on
no-brainer.
the kabuki makeup and all that stuff for that kind of money. Yeah,
hell yeah.
they say $20 is $20.
Well,
Ah.
our drummer Tommy Troy Lynn, he can tell stories. He did it for 25 years of putting the Catman makeup on.
Yep.
If you ever get a chance to check out Troy Lynn on his page, you should, because he's got videos on there of him playing. And I mean, dude, as soon as he came into the band, I mean, I already knew
Great
because
player.
before, but when he came in the band, it changed the dynamic of the band because
was
Yeah,
impressed
it
with him.
did.
he hits hard.
Yeah, he
He
does.
Yeah, he's a hard hitter.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed that he didn't make it in here, him and Dan, but
Yeah,
that's all
me
right.
too.
Maybe we'll do it again and get those bums on here.
guys,
Yeah.
it's always me and Phil. Me and Phil, we're always the ones we're taking all the limelight up. We don't.
They probably look like they're monkeys banging on their computer. It won't work.
Ah, shoot.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward to get into this stuff, but
Yeah.
But then again, I'm no computer guru. I just figure stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go through a lot. I actually talked about this about a month and a half before I started it, but I was trying to put everything together, find the right program that I wanted to use to do this.
Mhm.
And it takes time to put all that stuff together.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I use a different program for this than I do at the Bottle House. That's
Mhm.
a different program when I stream live from there.
I
And
really
I had to figure out everything there.
I wanted to make sure I told you I love the way you did the video. The video is
I
very
appreciate
cool.
it.
I
Appreciate
think you changed it a little bit, right? From what Bubba used to do.
it. Changed it a lot.
A lot different.
I love Bubba to death, but Bubba was doing it with just a cell phone. I've actually
Okay.
got multiple cameras. I've got 4 different camera views.
It's
Yeah, I
really
saw
cool.
you had some serious setup there.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like a freaking Frankenstein thing I put together, but it works. I mic everything out. I run into an
Yeah.
audio interface, so I just wanted
The
I wanted to
little-
improve the sound.
Yeah, the little
Nice.
screen thing you do with the little logo on there and stuff. I love it. It's cool.
Like I said, I wanted to
Yeah.
I wanted to up it for one, obviously for the Bottle House. I think that's definitely a plus because I've had people come in and say, "Hey, we were somewhere else, and I pulled the video up, so we came over
Yeah.
here." And
Yeah.
also for the bands,
Yep.
good promo stuff. You guys can use it for stuff.
Oh, I was saying I put it on our page. I put
yeah,
the
absolutely.
that's
Good.
it on our, and I mean we have lots of reaction from it. So
No, you have to give me credit every now and then. though,
I
so.
know, right? I am. I'm going to make sure I put the Dwayne on the credit list.
And I've thought about, and obviously my buddy Michael McBee, who passed away a few years ago, he did all the photography. I thought about getting involved in that, but I figured, how do I take pictures and do all the photography when I'm in front of my computer trying to take care of all this? I can't do both.
Yeah. Well, I think through editing that you could even take pictures from your.
I tell you, I would like to actually go in and take these videos and
Mhm.
actually edit them out in the smaller
Yeah.
clips, but it takes a lot of time.
It really does, dude.
It really takes a lot
Yeah.
of time, and that's just, I'm limited on the time that I can put into it. Sundays I try to sit in the computer and, I'm doing, again, all
Yep.
the Facebook stuff with the Bottle House. I'm taking care of all that. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
try to
is a
preload
lot of
stuff.
work.
So.
And I can tell you from experience, me and Phil, I mean, it takes a lot to set all your production up, get all your
Absolutely.
amps on stage, make it look pro, make the sets flow, sit down. I mean, I take hours of sitting here. I'll listen to all the songs, try to figure out better ways of making them connect better, less, not too bulky on being, heavy. We try to separate stuff out so it's not too much weight on Troy, trying to play every song back to back, boom, 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 boom. So it takes a lot. And I mean, I can't imagine how much time it takes for you setting your gear up, doing the videos, taking care of the managerial part of what you're doing there at the bar. It's a very time.
Well, and then you got to mix in booking bands.
Yeah.
Which that's not a simple thing of just putting people in, because you have to look at, okay, well, what's going on this weekend? Who do I put in here? Who do I put on the weekend with this band? And I don't want two 90s bands playing the same weekend or two 80s bands, just trying to keep everything mixed in there.
Right. Because you get two of the same genre.
Yeah.
You're going to have overlapping songs. I mean,
there's a science to all this kind of stuff.
There is.
There
really is.
Work to have a bar that's really functioning on high level. It takes a lot to make that.
And we've made a lot of strides over the past couple months, mainly with the going non-smoking and just putting everything together. I can't wait till Bubba's back in there, because in fact I'm gonna meet with him this weekend, and I want to get him involved. I think he's getting to the point now where I think he's able to do more as far as helping me out with the booking. I mean, there for a while he couldn't do much because he was just so weak all the time.
Yeah.
But I want to get him involved in this stuff again.
Going on when we only had 2 gigs for the whole year.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, let's face it, Bubba's been down since before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's when it hit him. So, usually those last couple of months. And then when we stepped in and took over, was trying to just fill all those spots as quick as we could.
Yeah.
Because yourself, a lot of bands like yourself book out a year in advance.
Yeah.
And you just can't make a phone call. Hey, I need a band this weekend. And they're like, well, you're shit out of luck because we're already booked.
Right.
Yeah, we're booked up pretty solid through about a year now. We're booked up pretty solid through June.
Yeah.
So the last half of the year, obviously, want to get Bubba in because there's some stuff we want to do there. So we're going to work on things. So we'll definitely be I'll be hitting you guys and put some more dates in there.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah, and Russ is going to make a little minor change on some weekends here starting in July. So we'll work around that because he's got some things planned for the bar.
What that means?
It's a surprise.
That's what Mr. Dwayne, always a surprise.
You know what? I don't give away information until I'm told that I can give it away.
I've tried to get it out of you, and I can't.
Actually, Russ has some really good ideas of stuff to do with the bar, and he's working some different things in.
That's cool.
So he's got a few things up his sleeve.
That's cool, man.
And I plan on expanding on this. We're going to get together. In fact, I'm looking at maybe doing some of these events from the Bottle House, maybe starting here maybe next week. I might be in there doing this live from the Bottle House.
Oh, that would be.
That would be awesome.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how you could hear yourself talking, but I guess you'd have to talk in between banter.
Well, I'll probably do it on an off night.
Yeah. Oh,
just bring the bands in. I mean, I've already got some wireless mics, and
that would be cool, D.
Yeah.
Man, that would be really cool.
We just have to put it together. Have to make sure all the equipment's working together, because I have to bring a little PA system in, which I got a small PA.
Yeah.
Right. Get all my wireless stuff working. I have to have somebody run the computer for me while I'm up, because we'll set up on stage and interview up there. In fact, hopefully the first one is going to be a little interview with Mr. Bennett and the staff from the Bottle House, because I want everybody to get to know them.
I'd be anxious to see that.
Yeah, working on it.
Cool.
I've got some ideas.
Sounds like a great idea.
And Russ is very supportive with the whole thing with doing the webcast. So,
very cool.
And obviously this is obviously this is the Bottle House Bar presents the Dirtwood D. You know, it's not just me doing it. Obviously,
Right.
we're doing it through the Bottle House. So
That's right. And that's another thing. Just I really appreciate the fact you let us go ahead and tell anybody where we're playing at and stuff like that, even though it is a lot about the Bottle House.
but you know what? It's the Bottle House, but it's also promoting local music.
And that's
I'm a big supporter of local music.
that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell
I
everybody
love
promote
that.
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like, you got to support live music,
Absolutely.
I mean, even these young kids coming up, they're gives them a chance to play and be on stage. So
Yeah.
support live music.
Yeah.
Well, and let's face it, if we were the only venue around that had live music, there wouldn't be any bands around.
No, there sure
Yeah.
would.
There has
Nope.
to be other stuff.
No.
Yep.
I've
And,
been
Absolutely.
We go other places. You know, I go to different places occasionally.
yeah.
I mean, the Bottle House is home to me and its family, but, you know,
Yeah.
there's times where I go other places to see other bands that maybe I haven't seen or can't see there. I'll go to different
Yeah.
places.
Well, and it's just cool that you're promoting other venues too, because they need help just as bad. I mean,
Absolutely.
they need that little push up sometimes when somebody says something nice about their bar.
Well, we all went through some really tough times a few years ago
Yeah.
with the pandemic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that hurt a lot of business.
Man, you're not kidding, man.
And
Only
we're
thing
all just trying to get our feet back underneath us.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful that DeSantis and those guys kept everything kept open, because my buddies and stuff in Illinois, they were all shut.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't move. They couldn't do any gigs. At least I think we were down for maybe a week or two, and then we were right back to playing every weekend.
Yeah. And see, if I would have had it together, I would have started this earlier during that when nobody really had a source. But, you know, this has kind of been going hand in hand with the stuff that I've stepped in. You know, when Bubba went down, stepping in to kind of cover Bubba. And that's all I'm doing. I'm covering Bubba. I keep telling everybody, I'm just a scab.
Yeah.
I'm there to help Bubba.
You're
I'm covering Bubba's butt.
Right on.
What happens in the future, we'll see. But, you know, right now it's taking care of my brother.
Yeah.
When he comes back, I keep telling him I'm keeping that chair warm for him because I'm used to sitting on the other side of the table.
That's right. Yeah.
Now I can teach him how to use my Frankenstein gear.
Dwayne.
Bubba's family.
Yeah.
He said him and his missus, they're family.
Yeah. They're good.
Good people. Yeah, they are. And hopefully he'll get back on his feet again before too long.
Yeah.
So look, guys, we have been doing this for an hour and a half. What do you think?
Yeah. That's really cool. Appreciate.
Like I said, time kind of flies.
I do, and I want to thank everybody out there who's gotten on here and listened to what us BS and everybody else back.
Absolutely, and the good thing it'll be on there, so people will be listening to it for the next couple of weeks.
You can go pull it up. Make sure you check out our Facebook page at Dirty
Absolutely.
White.
Hey, thanks for having us, Mr. D.
Absolutely, appreciate it. It was fun.
People come by and we do have T-shirts available at our shows, and they can pick one of those up. And
which brings up one thing. You know, it is kind of mandatory in the future that the host actually has to have excuse me, a band shirt.
That's right. But
saying.
you know what? If we give one out to every single one of you guys that do that, we're gonna be broke.
But I'm me. Hey, who's had your back for the last 6 years?
You're gonna get one, okay? What size you wear?
When I come in,
large expanding into extra large slowly.
we'll get you one, brother. We get you.
Okay, you get an extra large.
See, I would have had the Dirty White Boy shirt on.
I know, and that would have been. I got my shirt. My old.
You know, I would have had it on, but
no, I didn't have it.
So
You'll have
it's mandatory in the future. So all you bands, so you know, it's mandatory that the host has to have a T-shirt to wear.
Sounds good
because that's promoting your band.
That's right. Let's make it happen.
Anyway, everybody.
Hey, I like Phil. Phil was a great grab. You got to keep him. He's a great addition to the band.
Yeah. And listen, everybody, thank you for getting on the podcast with us, and thank you, Dwayne, for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I look forward to playing in April at the Bottle House again, and I hope that Bubba gets healthy and wealthy as soon as he can, and that's all I really got, man.
Hopefully he'll be there with us.
Yep.
And on that night, I said, we have you guys back
in April. Us,
absolutely, 100%. And I got you guys back on April 5th.
April 5th.
So everybody listen out there, April 5th. Remember, Dirty White Boys hits the stage at the Bottle House.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, gentlemen. I thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to kick you guys out of here now. I'm going to say a few things, and then My old ass is going to bed.
See you later, Phil.
Love you, brother.
Bye bye.
Dirty
All
white
right, guys.
boys.
Dirty white boys for life, right?
How do I get out of this thing now?
I'll kick you out. Don't worry. All right, guys. Good talking to you.
Okay. Bye.
Cheers.
There you have it. The Dirty White Boys. They're still in here. Let me get rid of him now that y'all can see him. I'm going to kick him out. Kick. So, as I was saying before, this weekend at the Bottle House, tomorrow night, we have Trader Joe's. It's going to be their first time on the Bottle House stage, so come out and support them. From what I understand, great band. I think you're going to enjoy them. And then Saturday night, we have Not Mad at It back at the Bottle House. They've been there before. You've seen them. It's going to be a good weekend. We've got some decent weather coming, so y'all get out there and support local music and live music. Again, so this is Dwayne with the Dirt from D. If you guys have any suggestions, recommendations, anybody you want to see on the show, just let me know. I'm always at the Bottle House on the weekends. Come up and say hi. I don't bite hard. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. And on that note, I'm out of here.